We looked at the Rose Bowl semifinal with Bama and Notre Dame. We already got that out of the way. There's another semifinal, obviously, that we want to look at. Clemson and Ohio State for the 2021 All-State Sugar Bowl. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with my 2021 All-State Sugar Bowl preview and prediction video for the second or first. I don't know. How would you determine which is the first semifinal? I guess the first one to air, which would be the Rose Bowl. This one's the Sugar Bowl. This airing at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time on New Year's Day. Let's go ahead and get into it, though. Already did a preview video. Not going to tell you who I picked or whatever. You could probably take a guess. I probably picked Bama. Not biased. Bama is a better team than Notre Dame this year. Clearly, they've showed it with better competition, better wins, I think. So I picked them over Notre Dame. But if you want more information on what I had to say about the upcoming Rose Bowl matchup, go check out my Rose Bowl preview and prediction video. That being said, let's go ahead and get into the Sugar Bowl. All right. Number 2, Clemson. Number 3, Ohio State. Of course, we know how it works. 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3. That's the semifinals for the college football playoff. That's how it's always been. That's how it's probably always going to be until they expand the playoff. Which, when will that be? I don't know. But we're not here to talk about expansion. That's for another day. Clemson versus Ohio State. Game will be played in New Orleans, Louisiana, January 1st of 2021, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Rose Bowl being played prior to that at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You look at these two teams, Clemson and Ohio State, definitely two of the best. And people can sit there and say Ohio State didn't play enough games, and I would agree. Maybe they didn't. But you still got to look at it from a talent standpoint. They do have one of the best quarterbacks, Justin Fields. They got a really great receiver, Chris Olave. They got great players like, Master Teague or whoever, Trey Sermon. But who cares how many games you played, right? I've talked with a couple people about it, and they've said they don't deserve it because of the lack of games, lack of schedule, whatever. And I agree with them, but at the same time, if you win your conference, you win your conference, and it is how it is. And I don't know. The system is... I'm not even going to go off on a playoff rant. Let's just look at this game. Let's just get into it, people. So how do these teams get here? Well, Clemson won the ACC over Notre Dame in Charlotte, North Carolina, at Bank of America Stadium where the Panthers play, blah, blah, we know all that. They win the ACC over Notre Dame, who they had lost to early November, about a month ago, or coming up 2 months, I guess. In South Bend, they lost to Notre Dame in double overtime. They beat them in the ACC title game 34-10 to get in. Ohio State, they got in winning 22-10, being undefeated, beating Northwestern and winning the Big Ten championship. That's how they got in, right? You look at these two teams, they did meet in last year's Fiesta Bowl, where Clemson won 29-23 with Nolan Turner intercepting a pass by Justin Fields in the end zone. He takes a knee, and they come back from a 16-0 deficit. That's last year. This is a rematch game here, folks. This will be the third time these two teams meet in the playoffs. They met, obviously, I just mentioned last year. They're meeting this year. They met, I think it was 2016's Fiesta Bowl, and Clemson won that one like 31-0 when Deshaun Watson was there. Right? So, this is a rematch game. Is Ohio State looking for revenge or redemption? I don't know. Maybe they want revenge over Clemson. Uh, you know, who knows? I don't know. Clemson, I think, is looking for redemption in the sense that they lost last year's championship game to LSU, right? They're not looking to really prove much against Ohio State other than, hey, we're still here, we're back, or we're bouncing off a championship loss, whatever, right? Heck, I think they've already proved that outside of the loss to Notre Dame. They've looked great. So these two teams met last year. Clemson won 29-23, right? Final seconds or whatever. Interception in the end zone. Justin Fields in shock. Terrible play by Justin Fields. But again, he's sitting here, he's saying, I'm not really necessarily worried about revenge on Clemson so much as I am. I just want to get past the semifinal, and I want to bring a championship to Columbus, Ohio. That's what he wants to do. Trevor Lawrence is sitting there saying, I've already locked up the number one pick, but it'd be great to get 2 natties on my resume before I go to the draft, right? Speaking of, let's go ahead and look at this quarterback matchup. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, we just mentioned them. Top 2 quarterbacks of the 2018 class. Top 2 in the 2021 NFL draft. You know, the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft class this year battling for the number 1 pick. No, it's Trevor's to take. Fields isn't worthy of that number 1 pick. Okay, I'll stop myself there. He's worthy of it. But I mean, come on, you really going to pass up Trevor Lawrence? Even with Justin Fields, I mean, you couldn't blame him a whole lot. I mean, you're getting a really good player in either one of these guys. But Trevor Lawrence is just that kind of guy that he's miles ahead of probably anybody right now. I don't know how else to put that. So, anyway, and again, a rematch of last year's semifinal game. It's Fields and Lawrence part 2. You look at Ohio State, 0-4 all-time against Clemson, right? And again, like I just said, is Ohio State sitting here looking for revenge on Clemson? Or are they looking for a natty? They're like, I don't care if it's revenge or not. I don't care who we play. We just want to win a natty, right? Are they like Alabama? They just want to win a natty. They want to do what they're supposed to do, right? And be on top of college football or try to be one of the top teams, you know? At this point, maybe it's both, right? And again, we mentioned Clemson wants redemption from last year's loss to LSU where they lost in the title 42-25. They want redemption, right? I think it's more so redemption for both these teams. I don't think it's revenge for Ohio State. Buckeye fans, let me know. Maybe it is. I don't know. But Clemson wants redemption from losing last year's game against LSU 42-25 in the national championship. But they got to win this game first. We're focused on this game, right? Everyone's focusing on these semifinals. We're not worried so much about the national championship until we get a matchup for the championship on January 11th in Miami, Florida. Looking at the FPI Football Power Index, this could not be closer. It's literally, it's close. It's almost 50-50. Woo. Clemson with a 49.8% chance to win this game. Leaving Ohio State with a 50.2% chance to win this game. So it's practically 50-50. Coin flip it, right? I don't know who to bet. Coin flip it. Call it in the air. Heads, it's Clemson. Tails, it's Ohio State. Tails, Ohio State. I mean, it's a coin flip. Right? It could not be closer. This is going to be a great game. 49.8% chance for Clemson. Ohio State, 50.2. Basically 50-50. Clemson favored by 7.5. The over-under is set at 66.5. Again, I said it's like a coin flip, but don't let that fool you. I mean, anything happens in the postseason, in a championship, in a bowl game. Anything can happen, right? This could be a blowout. Maybe it's a surprise, like Justin Fields just balls out against a great Clemson defense or vice versa. I mean, we'll see. Both of these teams want to win, right? But how do they win, right? Well, let's look at Clemson. Clemson wins, and I got two things for Ohio State. I couldn't really come up with anything else for them, but I got three things for Clemson. Let's look at Clemson first. How do they win? First off, they cannot get behind like they did last year. Now, Lawrence could still have another comeback, right? He could come back on them twice, right? Oh, he was down 16-0 last year, and this year it's like 14-3 or something, and he came back again. That could happen, but at the same time, like, you know, I feel like Fields is in a position right now, and this offense is better for Ohio State. They're just going to be cranking up the tempo. They're going to be throwing passes over the middle. Chris Olave is a great receiver. Master Teague, Trey Sermon. You got great weapons, right? You got great players for Ohio State. So I mean, I don't think you can get behind if you're Clemson in this game. They could come back again, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think Ohio State would let a team come back on them 2 times in a row, right? Could this game be better than last year's Fiesta Bowl? Heck yeah. I kind of hope it is. I don't know how you'll top it because, I mean, last year was so great. You know? But we'll see. So Clemson can win if they don't get behind like they did last year. Even though, again, like I just mentioned, Trevor could still bring him back, right? But still, I think this year, with Ohio State being how they are, being a little bit better, learning from last year, letting them come back, maybe they prepare a little bit better this year in case of something like that happening. So, I mean, if you do get down, don't get down too big at halftime. What was it, like 16-0? Something like that last year? That's 2 touchdowns right there. Defense has got to slow down Justin Fields. Are they capable of that? I don't know. I really don't know. Clemson's defense is always going to be great, I think. Dabo is more of a defensive type of guy when it comes to recruiting. I mean, they are just stacked. Even after they lost Wilkins, Farrell, Bryant, Dexter Lawrence to the NFL, we were sitting there saying they'll be great, but they won't be what they were last year, and that was true, right? But they were maybe a little bit better in 2019 last year? A little bit better than expected. Defense got to slow down Justin Fields. You can't don't let him get off to a fast start, right? You know, don't let him play for 4 quarters. Slow him down. Get off the field on 3rd down. Force a punt. Force a field goal or something. Like, throw him off his game. Use different disguises and stuff in the secondary, right? I remember one play, and I don't know if they still do this. I haven't really seen a whole lot of Clemson this year. I just know, I mean, I've seen Clemson this year, right? We all have, right? But I haven't, like, fully watched every single game. But one play, and I'll bring this up, the 44-16 game, the pick 6 by A.J. Terrell, that was called a trap play, right? It was like a trap by the cornerback, right? Basically, you know, the receiver wanted to go one way, right? And, you know, you had a guy covering him, but then there was a guy back there, A.J. Terrell, who jumps the gun and picks off Tua and took it back. He disguised his coverage, I think, and, you know, took it back. It was a trap. It was disguised. Didn't see it coming, out of nowhere type of thing. Maybe some formations like that for Clemson's defense, right? Throw Justin Fields off, right? So you got to slow him down. Cover guys like Chris Olave, who did miss the Big Ten title game. He is expected to play in this game. But he's been a really good receiver that we've been talking about this year, Chris Olave especially. Garrett Wilson's a good guy too. Y'all, the secondary's got to show up and cover guys like that, I think, in this game. Let's see. Yeah, so cover the receivers, man. Pressure Fields in a way that he hasn't been pressured all year. He's not faced a defense like Clemson. He hasn't faced this yet. At the same time, the same could be said for Clemson's defense, though. Maybe they haven't faced a quarterback like Fields this year. Well, we faced him last year. That was last year. He's improved since then. They've changed some things up a bit. Y'all have changed some things up a bit. Clemson's lost some defensive players, bring some new guys in. On the offense, right? J.K. Dobbins is gone. You got a different running back in like Master Teague or Trey Sermon. Not going to sit here and debate who was better, Dobbins or these two. But I mean, it's not the same matchup. Same teams, yes. Same type of matchup, I don't know. Right? Fields has got to get off to a fast start if Ohio State wants to win this game. So, I mean, this is, and again, like I said, this is like a 50-50 game. It's practically a coin flip. It's literally like right there on the FPI that says like 50-50. People are excited for this matchup. They don't know who to pick because you got two juggernaut first round top two quarterbacks, whatever, that are going head to head again. It's probably going to be better than last year. Who knows? This is not easy for me to pick. I mean, seriously. Ohio State wins. Let's look at that. Ohio State, how do they win? We mentioned Clemson wins is, defense got to slow down Fields. You got to cover the receivers. Don't get behind and have to come back because who knows what, is going to happen. I mean, it's hard to come back on a team 2 times, And Ohio State's just a little better this year. Ohio State wins. Obviously, I mentioned, get off to a fast start. Justin Fields, and the defensive side of the ball doing what you can to back him up. Forcing turnovers, disguising coverages, just fourth down situations, forcing punts and field goals. Heck, maybe not even field goals, just force a punt. Get off the field on 3rd down. Help Justin Fields out a bit. Because if Trevor Lawrence goes out there and starts scoring on y'all, it's not going to be a good day for Justin Fields, man. I'm telling you. So, I mean, whatever you did to Trevor Lawrence in that first half of last year's game, do that. Right? Make him look that bad. That's your hope. Anyway, I don't have a whole lot for this. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to say other than, it's going to be a heck of a matchup. You got the ACC champion in Clemson going up against the Big Ten champ in Ohio State. They've met 4 times all time. And Ohio State has still never, ever beat Clemson. They came close last year, as we know. They got shut out 31-0 in 2016. The year when Deshaun Watson won Clemson the title. So with that being said, I guess I'll go ahead and give my score prediction. I don't have a whole lot to say other than it's going to be a great matchup between 2 really great quarterbacks and offenses. And defenses will need to show up in this game. And that being said, and again, this is like a coin flip for me. I picked a score, and I picked Ohio State last year, and they failed me big time. What did I have, like 24, 23 or something like that? I don't know. Last year's game, and it was 29-23, and I'm like, oh, I got 23 points on the scoreboard. I think it's going to be a little bit more offense this time. I'm going to say Clemson maybe wins. I'm picking Clemson. Maybe they can win like 34-30 over Ohio State. It's going to be a good Sugar Bowl, and if this adds up, I picked Bama in the Rose Bowl. If this adds up right, we will have Bama and Clemson Part 5 of the Natty. But again, these are predictions, people. I'm not going to sit here and after this do, okay, I picked Bama and Clemson, let's do a preview for that. I'm going to wait. We're going to see what happens in these games, and we're going to do a championship preview video in the new year after these semifinals are played. These being played this Friday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, December 30th. So, anyway, 34-30, Clemson beating Ohio State. Is what I have. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching today. This is going to be a great game. Definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments below. How does Ohio State beat Clemson? How does Clemson beat Ohio State? And who do you have winning this year's All-State Sugar Bowl in New Orleans? It's going to be a great game. I'm excited for this, just like I am Alabama and Notre Dame. I'm looking forward to it. And, again, I want to hear your predictions down below in the comments section. So, anyway, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope y'all had a great Christmas. And with the new year coming up, Happy New Year to everyone. I can't believe this year is already almost over, man. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve as I'm recording this on December 30th. So, anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year. Love you guys. And from a Bama fan, Roll Tide Roll. Until next time, Ballard Sports Media checking out. Have a good night. Love you guys.